And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. Welcome back to the grand finals. The grand finals here of the PiGosaur Cup number 64. We just wrapped up with the semis. Solar did just take down Beyond 3-1 with a very intense back and forth series overall. Longer games, I should say. But now we're getting into the finals. Best of 5. MaxPax versus Solar is ready for us, of course. So we're jumping into game 1. Game 1 is going to be on Celestial Enclave. Let's go. Let us go. And I'm always excited to see a little bit more variety out of MaxPax. What I mean by that is that it is so common to see MaxPax either against a Protoss or against a Terran player, because it's so common in these online tournaments for there to be a PvP matchup. I'm referring to MaxPax versus Classic, MaxPax versus Hero, or a PvT matchup, MaxPax versus Clem, or versus Beyond, or versus Cure. It's very common to cover him against a Terran or a Protoss. It is a rare sight to see a Zerg player this deep in a tournament, as Zerg players are few and far between. So I'm ready. I'm excited. This morning in the bottom right-hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the Danish Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Ooh, now coming into this MaxPax, I would say his weakest matchup is PvZ. Actually, nah. In current era, it might be PvP now that I think about it. For a very long time, I would have actually stood by that, saying that his PvZ was kind of weaker than his other matchups. But that was previously, like 2 years ago, back when when he had the best PvP in the world. Nowadays, that is no longer the case, and yeah, as a result, we'll see how he compares to Solar. We'll see how he does build up. I will say when it comes to MaxPax's Protoss versus Zerg style, it's typically a lot more standard. It's less aggressive and less chaotic compared to both Classic and Hero. And that is where I feel like MaxPax kind of times be taken advantage of, just because he's not as assertive as some of the others, specifically in this matchup. But we'll see. We'll see how we do adjust and how we approach the game on Celestial Enclave. Welcome. This map is often vetoed. It's welcome to Celestial Enclave. This is a very often vetoed map. It does have a pocket base. That's the reason for this, of course. Pocket expansion here, so this can be taken as a 3rd, 4th, or 5th base later on down the line. So it can be very difficult to break a turtling player here. If we were to take the linear base as a 3rd and then take this base as a 4th base, we can build up, turtle up into Sky Toss. So we often do see a lot of all-ins from Zerg players. We see a lot of 3-base all-ins or even muta play from Zerg players to break a turtling player. We'll see how Solar will approach this. When it comes to, I was referring a lot to MaxPax and how he approaches PvZ. When it comes to Solar, you should recognize Solar is very fond of all-ins. We see a lot of all-ins out of Solar, specifically in the Zerg versus Protoss matchup. You might see the direct contrast with his Zerg versus Terran. Solar was playing very mid to late game against Beyond, very much so, like playing for the Hydra style, playing into a longer 4, 5, 6 base economy. Here against MaxPax, we're expecting Solar to commit on 3 bases, a 4th base just for Larva. So we'll keep an eye on his tech. We'll see how Solar does approach this and the direction of Solar's tech as well. But he's very fond of 3-base all-ins against Protoss. For now though, here we go. We are going to be joining Hatch Gas Pool into the 3rd. So far so good. MaxPax does rock up. It's going to be up to Solar to keep up with the Adept. So far so good. Stargate open out of MaxPax. Does open Stargate. Getting to his Oracle, getting to a standard opener. Everything's looking normal so far. And we'll see if MaxPax has kind of caught on to the current meta shift. If you've been watching us cast PvZ as of late, then you would know we've been discussing this, referring to recent weeks and recent months, and that is the shift out of +1 and Blink and into +1 and Charge. We've been seeing this a lot from players like Hero, players like Classic, players like Zaun, all the Korean Protoss players, and even players like Trigger as well, to embrace a much more aggressive mid-game, punishing standard play. I don't know if MaxPax is one to delve into that though. We're about to find out. True. We're about to find out. As MaxPax does take the linear 3rd. Again, you do typically want to save the pocket base until later on down the line. You want to save it. That is an early council. Okay, earlier Twilight Council, delayed Forge. This looks like Glaive Adepts. So it looks like Glaive's out of MaxPax. If Solar skips his Roach Horn, he's going to be in trouble. So far, 1, 2, 3 drone kills. 4 drones even. Nice damage here with the Oracle. Doesn't get another. Oh, Lair first. Yeah, Lair first out of Solar. If he's going Lair first into a Hydra Den, then he's going to be in so much trouble here. The Twilight Council's almost done. Again, I don't see a Forge. Extra gateways. Show us what you got. Charge, a Blink, or Glaives. Oh, early Blink. Okay, never mind. No Forge here tells me that there's a higher chance this might turn into an 8k 3-base all-in, which is very out of meta. Oh, okay, late Forge. So it does go for a delayed Forge. Now this is looking a little bit safer instead. What does this mean? We often used to see this on... Oh, God, I'm so bad with maps that we get out of the map pool. Think of Royal Blood? No, maybe. But on smaller maps, when you expect your opponents to go for an all-in, going into Blink this quickly does allow you to defend, right? It means that Blink will be done in time for something like a 2 or 3 base all-in against a German taxi. It does also allow MaxPax to be a little bit more assertive earlier on. And we'll keep an eye on his gases. We'll see how committed he's going to be. As the Oracle does break in, no Spore here at the third base. Solo gets punished. 6 drones go down. Nice damage. Nice damage out of MaxPax. This also means that Solo won't be punished. If you remember, when we saw the fast Lair, I was like, oh, that means he's skipping Roaches. And he is, right? He skipped Roaches. He's going straight Link Hydra. If MaxPax had gone for Glaives or early Charge, then MaxPax would punish Solar. But Solar, he's getting away with pure Link Hydra. So Solar's being greedy. He's getting away with it. He's knocking down those rocks as well. So far, undetected. Uh-oh. And MaxPax, he doesn't know. Does spot some Zerglings, though. Solar, he does deviate. MaxPax, he reveals, and he still doesn't notice the rocks are being knocked down. And do you remember what we said at the start of this series? How Solar is very fond of 3-base all-ins in ZVP. No drones. No drones, just for Larva. This is a 3-base all-in. 3-base all-in of Solar, stopping workers at 64, massing up pure Link Hydra, knocking down those rocks, and committing into an all-in. And this should hit before Storm finishes. Oh boy, Storm is not yet done. It's all or nothing for Solar. Did he forget? Okay, no. Okay, he got range first. Hydra speed is still not yet done. Does have range. Lings, they do slip in. And Solar, he does catch the Oracle. Oracle goes down. There's a massive opening here into the natural. Storm is still halfway done. And Solar, can he break that natural? It's going to be close. Oh. Yeah, it's going to be close here. Storm will finish. Do we have any High Templar? There's 2. 2 Templar. There's going to be at least 2 Storms. Max actually has to make those Storms count. A lack of Hydra speed does make this awkward, but does depower the Robo. Ooh, there's the first Storm. Yeah, 1 Storm connects. There's 2 more coming in. There's a second Storm. There's 1 Storm left. Ooh, and there it is. Final Storm does connect. Hydras are being softened up. And MaxPax, can he hold? It's getting close. Yeah, it's getting close here. The Archon does morph in. MaxPax, he has enough. Yeah, he has enough. He's holding on. I spoke too soon. We have reinforcements. Oh no. Yeah, Lings are trickling in. Hydras, they step forward. They focus on the Robo. And there's no batteries. There's no batteries here. There's no Storms. We have Zealous morphing in. These are charge lots. Again, Solar, he needs more support here, though. The Hydras are on their own. Yeah, the Hydras are exposed. Expensive losses here for Solar, bleeding out 1, 2, 3, 4 Hydras. He needs those Zerglings. And again, Solar, he's so close to breaking MaxPax. He's close. Casito. He peels off those Lings. Slips into the mineral line. Hydras, they kite back. Lings, they just... Oh, there's a cannon in the main. Storm lands. Yeah, the cannon does defend the main. Nice sit out there from MaxPax. Archon's morphing in as well. Ooh, MaxPax does bleed out some Stalkers, though. Yeah, some expensive losses. 2, 3 Stalkers going down. Ay, ay, ay. Expensive losses. And here comes a rally. Here comes the rest of the rally here. Cohen gets caught. And I think Solo's done it. At this point, unfortunately, MaxPax lost too many Stalkers. He lost too many Stalkers. He's down to 3. Down to 3 Stalkers left. That was meant to be the backbone of the army. So no Stalkers remaining. And Solo, he has done it. He has broken MaxPax. He's broken. Again, MaxPax, he just didn't notice the Lings knocking down the rocks. He didn't notice the all-in. GG gets called, and Solar takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, MaxPax, he was caught with his pants down. Happy the pants were down. He failed to scout the 4th base to confirm the lack of saturation. He failed to check the rocks to confirm that there was an opening into the bases as well. That's why MaxPax, he had no shield batteries, he had no defensive setup, did have a cannon in the main base, but he had no defensive structures at the natural, so there was a massive opening. Did allow for the army to come in. On top of that, Robo got depowered as well, so a very shaky defense there from MaxPax. Barely wasn't able to hold on. Had some really nice storms. True, there was some really nice storms, but barely not enough. GG, well played. With that, Solo takes a lead, and now we're going to be loading into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. And this is kind of what we expect. Just winding it back to what we mentioned at the start of the series, Solar is very fond of all-ins, so we should be expecting a lot of 3-base play out of Solar this series. It's on MaxPax to scout. Yes, the scout has to confirm, has to recognize what's going on. And spawning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbit, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons, leading the series 1-0. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Danish Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Now, the other scary thing here is that just because Solar is known for all-ins in this matchup doesn't mean that he's going to do the same build 2 games in a row, or even 3 games, or even twice in this series. There are a plethora of builds you can go for here, where you can go into a more Roach-heavy style and Roach-heavy composition. You can go into Muta play, you can go into Nidus play. Solar does mix it up. So we'll see. Shall see. When it comes to the openers, we should be seeing the same thing out of MaxPax, going for a Stargate, but the follow-up here yet to be determined. Last game, we saw that MaxPax went for a very early Twilight Council into early Blink, which is very out of fashion nowadays. It's a very safe way to play. As I mentioned before, it does keep you safe against 2-base all-ins, but we would not have seen a 2-base all-in on Celestial Enclave, which was the weird thing about it. I guess it does allow you to be a little bit more active in the mid-game, but we didn't actually see that out of MaxPax. So it was an interesting choice. As MaxPax is being as annoying as possible. Do have our hatch gas pool. And welcome to White Rabbit. White Rabbit is one of the larger maps on the map, or larger map, longer rush distance by ground. Does have a very open entrance here into the natural, so because of this, we have seen a lot of 3-base all-ins strike this area here, the area in between the bases, and likewise rotate to the 3rd base as well, which is also more open as well. Is more open. So open bases, open expansions. The base is also more spread out, so in a longer game, it can be difficult to rotate between them. Eyes are on Solar. But now Stargate open out of MaxPax, and again, when it comes to the openers, MaxPax, he did a lot of damage with his oracles. He killed, what, like, I want to say 10 drones in total, eventually when it came to his oracle harass. He's doing a lot of damage. But again, the scouting is what's paramount. We got scouts, we got to confirm. And again, after that last game, I'm sure MaxPax is now on notice. He's now on notice. MaxPax does poke in. Pokes in with a shade. It does invest into the Stalker and not another Adept. Interesting. So MaxPax is going to forego aggression in favor of hunting down the Overlord and keeping Solar in the dark. Okay. So Solar is going to be denied vision, and we could see something cheeky out of MaxPax. As the Overlord is going to be hunted down. Solar does move out. And it does make an extra pair of links here. These links have a little bit more potential just because Solar confirms there is no second adept. So links, they poke in, they get eyes on the third. The Oracle does get 2 drones, but it does sustain a lot of hull damage. And we have once again an early Twilight Council and earlier gateways. Now, last game I was confident I was like Glaive Adepts. This time I'm more confident. This should be Glaives here from MaxPax. These gateways are much faster this time, but we'll see. We saw something very similar last game which led into early Blink, to be fair. But it's gotta be Glaives, right? Like it's if he goes for a delayed Forge, then that screams Blink. But if we see no Forge, then should be Glaives. Yep, there it is, Glaive Adepts. So remember, this is what we saw. This is the build that we thought it was last game. And then MaxPax took delayed gateways and a later Forge. This time the build makes a lot more sense. And again, this is designed to punish someone that's skipping roaches. Do you see what I see? I see a Roach Warren. I see a Roach Warren here. If this was last game, fun fact, MaxPax would be having such a better time. As in game 1, Solar did skip roaches and went straight Ling Hydra. Now, just because there's a Roach Warren doesn't mean that there are going to be any roaches. It's going to be on Solar to confirm that he even needs to make any. So Lings, they move out. They catch out some transient workers. No battery at the third. Oh. Yeah, no battery. Lings are on patrol. You can see MaxPax banking up those adepts. That's a lot of adepts here with the natural. He's now moving out. And Lings, they scout. Yeah, big scout. Big scout here by Solar. He knows roach production has begun, and we should be getting ready to wall off. Just fully wall off here, this natural. We'll see if he does move in position. MaxPax is racing across the map. We have 6 roaches in production. Solar needs a little bit more time. And MaxPax, he commits even harder. He warps in more adepts. Yeah, 4 more adepts back at home. So MaxPax is committed. Gets on top of the first queen. Queen does pull away in time. Yeah, it does pull away. Adepts, they shade in. We do have somewhat of a wall here. Does fully wall up. Yeah, just barely. Just barely buying time. The wall is broken. Spore goes down. Adepts, they get into the mineral line. They're getting into the main. No damage yet, but finally they get in. 1, 2, 3 drones going down. Adepts, they shade in towards the 4th base as well. And Soul's being pulled apart. He's being pulled apart here. 8 drones falling. Can we get any more? 9, 10. Oof. Yeah, 10 drones going down. MaxPax takes the lead. And Solar's not set up for a counterattack. Yeah, he's not set up for it. Roach speed is done, so that should allow him to move out, but he's droning. He's droning up behind this, trying to resaturate, and so far MaxPax does do enough damage, does take a lead, and behind this is now transitioning into Blink, into Storm, into Archons. Ooh. As the Oracles, they punish, getting 3, 4 more drones. Oof. Does cost MaxPax one of the Oracles, though. Now, my assumption here. Solar, he's droning. That is true. He's droning up to 3 bases. Does he drone up his 4th, though? That's what I want to know. Because he may not. So he drones up to 71. Massing up his Roach Hydra. And in my mind, we can go down one of 2 routes. Either Solar takes gases, drones up, gets Infestation Bit, goes into Hive Tech, and goes into Hydra Lurker, or he commits here on a lower drone count into an all-in with pure Roach Hydra. Because he sustained so many economic losses, it would make sense to commit. But we'll see. Yeah, 3 Overlords on the way. This tells us that Solar most likely is going to make nothing but Roaches. Nothing but Roaches, nothing but Hydras. Solar, he's not droning. He's not droning up. We have Hydra speed on the way. MaxPax does scout. Does see some saturation more than last game. That is true. And thankfully, MaxPax throws down some side defense. Cannons are on the way. Shield batteries are on the way. He's got 6 High Templar ready and waiting. That's going to be a lot of storms. And he's building up his immortal count. As time goes on, it's getting better and better for MaxPax. Solar, he has to end the game soon. And Solar's about to max out. He's about to max out. So Solar is going all in. He's not taking up. He's not droning. And Solar's going to be up, what, 80 supply? But remember, the suit does lie, right? The Zerg army here is inflated due to the roaches. MaxPax does have a more efficient composition with storms. It comes down to the storms, though. As Solar does distract, and the main army pushing towards the center. Nice storm. A storm with the Zerglings. There's one more storm left. Cybercore goes down. It takes out the Cybercore. Storm deflects on the right-hand side. So far, MaxPax is holding. So far, there's that next storm. There's about to be another. And there's about to be another storm. Oof, does connect. Brutal. Oh no, he stands in the storms. Oh my god. Yeah, insane damage here in the center. And as we mentioned, like again, the soup does lie in MaxPax. He is so far holding. He's building up the immortal count. As we get more immortals, it's going to be an easier hold. And Solar, he's failing to break through. Failing to break through here. Again, over time, it's getting worse for Solar. The gap in supply is closing. Solar, can he surround? Here, there's only one High Templar. I will say that MaxPax, he has too many High Templar on the right-hand side. You can see here, he has, what, 7 High Templar on the right-hand side? Like, there's too many Templar here. It's unnecessary. Yeah, MaxPax out of position, does end one storm. But these High Templar, they shouldn't be here. Main army does move in. Another storm lands. And the main army is rotating. Here come all the storms, here come all the High Templar. MaxPax has arrived. Has plenty of storms left. Solar, can he pull this off? Oh god. Yeah, storms, they blanket the army. Oh god. And Solar is being deflected. What did he really achieve here? He got a gateway, he got a cybercore, traded with the main army. And Solar, he's still not droning, by the way. Like, he's still all in. He's been all in this entire time. He's still rallying. Yeah, it's a Templar, okay. Does snipe a High Templar. Takes down the cannon. Can now get into the mineral line. Damage is being done. At the same time, he has the high ground here on the left-hand side. Where are the High Templar? Where are the storms? You hold the High Templar here on the right. Oof. And High Templar going down. Sniping one. There's 4 left. There's 4 High Templar remaining. They're exposed. And Solar, he's done it. Wow, he has done it. He does catch the High Templar. There's 2 Templar left. MaxPax, who was out of position. And again, a very chaotic defense here from MaxPax, who will lose the final High Templar. And Solar's done it. Wow, Solar, he's done it. He has broken the 3rd base. Things are looking bleak, but GG gets called, and Solar, he will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, MaxPax, he had the tools to defend, but you saw that he had so many High Templar on the right-hand side, and eventually Solar did recognize that. He noticed, like, hold on, you're a little bit too heavy on the High Templar here on the right. Let's actually focus on the left instead. So he rotated around, did kind of refocus his attention, was able to get some better trades on the left-hand side instead, and as he was rotating back and forth, the High Templar were caught out. There was 7 Templar there when it came to that group, that main, like, kind of marauding group of High Templar. He got caught out in the open, lost all the High Templar, GG. GG, well played. Again, MaxPax's defense was heavily reliant on those storms, and he was caught out. And with that, we're now getting into game number 3. Whew, getting into game 3 here. And again, a very intense and very intense game there, where MaxPax was ahead. He was able to cripple the economy. He forced the all-in, and he was defending straight. He was defending initially, but again, he was eventually broken down over time. Again, he had a really hard time splitting up his army efficiently and effectively. And GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting to game 3. Going to be loading into 10,000 feet. Let's go. And we're hoping for a back and forth. I'm getting similar vibes to Solar versus Bjorn, where like I want to see a game 4, I want to see a game 5, I want to see more games and a greater series out of this. But the pressure is on MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons, leading the series 2-0. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the Danish Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Here we go. And welcome to 10,000 feet, as we do have a 15 hatchery here by Solar. It does throw it down just in time before the probe arrives. But 10,000 feet is a very small map. Small map, a short rush distance by ground. We do often see a lot of all-ins on 10,000 feet as a result of that, but this map is a little bit different. On the one hand, yes, it is a small map, true. On the other hand, this forward base is very defendable. The initial forward base setup, I should say. So we have our natural, we have our third. Typically, this third base would be over on the right. This third base wouldn't exist. This forward base wouldn't exist typically, and you'd have the base here, the triangular third base or the linear third base. And expanding in either location does kind of spread yourself a little bit thin and does allow for alternate attack options, as you can attack either here at the entrance of the natural, or here on the left hand side, the entrance of the third, or here on the right hand side, the entrance to the other third base. That's typically how like maps and bases work. Specifically on 10,000 feet, you can expand forward instead. You can expand forward, taking this center expansion, and then suddenly you can defend your main, your natural, and your third base, all by keeping your army in one centralized location instead. So because of that, it is easier to defend on 3 bases when it comes to keeping up with your opponent's army movement, and just throwing down side defense and holding on to 3 bases. But again, the rush distance is so short. And that means that if a fight goes poorly, if a fight goes your way, momentum can swing very, very heavily in whoever wins that engagement, as they can rally across the map that much faster. Well, let's go. Let us go. As we're loading into, again, 10,000 feet. So far, standard opener, just gate expanded to Cybercore into a Stargate. Now, last game we had MaxPax opening up Glaive Adepts. I don't expect to see Glaives 2 games in a row, right? Like, typically we expect to see players vary things up. Game 1, he went early Blink. Game 2, early Glaives. Game 3, do we play standard? Do we go early Charge? Do we go second Stargate Voidry into Tempest Rush, which can be quite effective on this map? We'll see. One of the reasons why something like a Tempest Rush can be effective here is just because of the terrain. Specifically, this ravine here in this expansion is exposed to the center of the map, and you can set up tanks, Broodlords, Tempest, siege units can punish this forward base, for sure. Swarm hosts, any kind of siege units. Ranged lurkers, I suppose. But we'll see. And the pressure is on MaxPax. Solar picks in. Shouldn't get a probe. Oh my god, that was close. 2 things go down, they get a full scout though, they get confirmation of the Stargate at least. Oh, this time MaxPax does open up Double Adept, okay. Double Adept into the 4th third. I bring this up just because if you remember last game, Solar did go Adept into Stalker and he killed the first Overlord to hide his Glaive Adepts. This time we're hiding nothing. Ooh, 2 drones go down and we scout the Evo Chamber. Okay, so the early Evo Chamber is indicative of Ling Hydra. It's indicative of +1 melee, and more importantly, oh, never mind. Okay, Solar. You have my attention, baby. Alright, so what's going on here? First things first, so what we were getting at, early Evo Chamber indicates +1 melee, indicates Ling Hydra as a composition, and it indicates a standard game as well. But MaxPax scouted. He scouted, so now he knows it's going to be a standard game, and because he scouted, Solar does cancel, and he rescouts. He does rescout, does confirm, no spore, sorry, no Evo Chamber, no +1. An alarm bell should be ringing. He's like, hold up, okay, you're not going Ling Hydra, something's wrong. Something weird's going on. Because Solar is no longer setting up for a longer game. Lair is finishing up. Should be for the Hydra Den. But without the Evo Chamber, it should be a much more committed Hydra play instead. So again, nice rescout out of MaxPax. 4th base is being taken. MaxPax does go for a standard follow-up, going Blink into Forge. This is once again a delayed Forge. This is the same build that we saw in Game 1, if you recall. Game 1, Celestial Enclave, early Blink, late +1. Meanwhile, as we assumed, after cancelling the Evo Chamber, we have the Hydra Den on the way, and again, this should be for a stronger Hydra timing. We're expecting a 3-base all-in. But remember, MaxPax, he scouted. He knows. MaxPax did scout. As is being active. Remember, he can be active like this because he's getting earlier blink than normal. So MaxPax poking out across the map, catching a tumor. Gets one, gets two. Gaining ground, keeping Solar on the back foot. And we have Storm behind us as well. Meanwhile, Solar, he's going to be cutting workers here at 63. That is 3-base saturation. 66 at most. Oh, do you see what I see? Delayed Evo Chamber. This tells us Solar, he's going to be macroing. So delayed Evo Chamber, and then bam, Infestation bit thereafter. So yes, Solar, he's going to drone. For the first time this series, he does plan on droning up. This is a very mature decision. The downside, though, is how late the Evo Chamber is compared to what it was going to be. So late Chamber, late tech, late decision here by Solar. But that is an early Lurker Den, okay? So there's some pros and so there are some cons to this, of course. As we mentioned before, late upgrades, late tech, it is going to slow Solar down. But the early Lurker Den does, kind of reveal here what the plan is. Joining up to 4 bases, rushing to Lurkers, and trying to hit that Lurker timing. So a very flexible play here by Solar. It does mean that all these cannons and shield batteries are a bit of a waste. MaxPax, he's getting ready, by the way. Like, he's setting up, getting ready for an all-in, investing in all this side defense that he doesn't need to. Thankfully, he doesn't stay on 3 bases for too much longer. So 4th base now on the way. Solar, he's gaining map control. MaxPax is trying to figure out what's going on. What has MaxPax seen? Yeah, he doesn't know. The thing is that he hasn't seen the further tech. For all that MaxPax has seen so far, it does scream all in. That's why he's getting ready like this. Jesus, yeah, throwing down more cannons, more shield batteries. Solar getting to Hive Tech, joining up even further, getting up to 86. And again, for the first time this series, Solar joins up his 4th. He's macroing, Pap. He's macroing. And MaxPax, he just confirmed. Just went for the revelation. He sees all the drones. He knows. MaxPax is now aware. You see he's now trying to be active. He knows he cannot just let Solar drone up like this. But now they're Lurkers. Are they on hold position? They cannot. There was potential there if he kept them in hold position, not gonna lie. Solar coming in for the run by. Yeah, shouldn't achieve too much here. Oh, might get called out. Does bleed out 1, 2, 3 Hydras. Yeah, 3 Hydras go down, getting up to 4 actually. Oh my god. Yeah, nice PiGosaur here by MaxPax, getting up to 5 Hydras, not 4. At the same time, Lurkers, they move out. We can see MaxPax trying to take up in towards Skytoss. Lurkers, I believe with that range, they cannot hit that mineral line. Oh my god. Ooh, as the prism goes down. Nice setup out of Solar. Oh my god, massive shots. Yeah, massive Lurker shots going off. Zones back MaxPax. Solar trying to come in from behind. A lot of movement. Yeah, we have a lot of movement here. Storm goes up. Lings, they do force out all these storms. But there's still so many more storms. That was what, 4 storms? There's still what, 5 left? 6? It's a lot of High Templar. It's a lot of storms. Jesus, how many are there? 8? 8 High Templar. And again, MaxPax is just trying to turtle up and defend until he can break out into Skytoss. The Tempests are coming. Tempests are on the way. Solo does try to commit in, collapsing on the High Templar. That's a lot of storms. Oh, he eats them. Oh no! Yeah, the storms, they blanket the entire army. And Solo, he plummets in supply. Oh, the storms, Backy. Tempest are revealed. Solo trying to force his way in. He's trying. The Lurkers, they hold their own, okay. Lurkers are holding their own. Hydra's trying to zone away the Tempest. I said the run by catching out 12 drones. Yeah, 12 drones go down. And it looks like Solo's about to lose all these Lurkers. Yeah, he's going to lose them here. There's only 2 Hydras left. Down to 1, down to 0. He has to get out of here. Has to waddle away. And MaxPax, the comeback has begun. In regards to the series. Just catching out the army. Massive storms. And see, this is why you don't drone. GG. GG gets called. MaxPax will put a point on the board. We have a series. GG. Whew. GG, well played, as we are now getting into our next game here. And again, MaxPax, he does fight back, does put a point on the board. The one game where Solo decides to drone up and get up to 4 bases. Again, MaxPax able to embrace that late game, able to get into Tempest, able to build up his mass High Templar. He had 8 Templar in total, so many storms. GG. GG, well played. Solo just got too excited, trying to force the issue, trying to push in, trying to end the game before Skytoss. Wasn't able to do so. I mean, technically he did. He did end the game before Skytoss. True. He got what he wanted. He got what he wanted. And let's go. We're getting into game 4. We're going to be loading into the Old Republic. Let's go. Let's go. As we are loading into that 4th game, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Green Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Protoss player. We have the Danish Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming, beginning that comeback. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Now, this is where I'm going to start being a little bit more concerned for Solar, but we'll see. I do feel like this map is going to be assisting him when it comes to his preferred style. Now, last game, we did see Solar try to mix and match. He was initially going for standard opener, then he mixed it up into something more aggressive, into an all-in, and then he shifted gears once again into a more macro game, which did favor MaxPax, right? MaxPax, he was able to stabilize, able to turtle up on 4 bases, and build up into Skytoss and shut Solar down. What I will say, though, welcome to the Old Republic. The Old Republic is a much more open map, much more exposed bases. Longer rush distance by ground, that is true. It does have a longer rush distance, but specifically the 4th base. The 4th base is very difficult to defend. It's not as defendable. It's a little more open, a little more accessible here. And specifically, these big 3-base all-ins do hit very hard on the Old Republic. So we'll see how MaxPax will adjust his approach. We have seen already MaxPax be aggressive. We've already seen Glaive Adepts out of MaxPax. We could see that again. We could see something else. We'll see. From Solar, we're kind of expecting 3-base play at least. Muta play could be an option. What we've seen out of MaxPax has been early blink timings. I've seen a lot of early blink, and I'm leaning towards that again here as well. But we'll see. As our players are opening up. Joining with saturating. Here we have a take of choice. Once again, Stargate opener out of MaxPax. To be expected. Does open Stargate, but what we're really interested in is the follow-up, the Twilight Council. The take of choice. We have seen MaxPax mix in, say, delayed Archon drop openers, for example, off of a Stargate. True, he has mixed that in every now and then. That's also on the table. I would say, especially if he believes that Solo would go Ling Hydra again, this is where these early charge timings hit very strong, and the reason why they are so prevalent in the current meta. But again, we haven't really seen that at a MaxPax yet. Jovan does his own thing. Ooh, as MaxPax, he does open up with a Stalker after the Adept, does Night Vision, does hunt down the Overlord, and Soul's in the dark. Now, the last time this happened, MaxPax did go into Glaive Adepts. True. So that might be in the back of Solar's mind. Or that will be in the back of his mind. Early Eva Chamber out of Solar, +1 melee. If you recall, we did attempt this in game number 4. Sorry, game number 3. This was the initial goal last game. Filling Hydra. It's going to have our Twilight Council. We'll keep an eye on the timing of the next set of gateways. Melee's on the way. Max actually gets a full scout. He confirms the Eva Chamber. He knows. He knows. He's now aware. Ooh, earlier Robo into Forge. Okay. Should be Blink. Technically, we could see Charge. But no Glaives. Not this time. Solar picks in, pulls away. Yep, early charge here out of MaxPax. The big difference between last game and this one is the earlier Robo was indicating charge. And we'll see if MaxPax can punish. I mentioned this previously, but players that do go Ling Hydra do often struggle against these early charge timings. And MaxPax has potential. And they almost get caught out. Does shade away. Ooh. Leading out a probe. And Solar still is in the dark. He doesn't know what's going on. Skipped his Roach Warren. No Baliness either. This could just kill, to be honest. We've seen it kill before. So MaxPax, he may just be able to aim move across the map. Solar is still playing blind. Even if he sees the Zealots, I don't know if he can really do anything about it, to be honest. So we have the Hydrogen on the way. And MaxPax is about to move out. So how many gateways? I believe 8. He's building up to 8 gates. He'll first morph in the Archons, then he can reinforce with the Zealots across the map. And again, I think he might just roll over Solar. Like I do. Aye, aye, aye. Here come the Archons. Solar still has no idea. At this point, he should recognize, actually. At this point, the fact that he's seen no Stalkers and no Stalker aggression is a big tell. True. That is a tell. Does what the Prism. Prism moves out. Archons get spotted. Hydras are amassing. And if we build up enough Hydras in time, then Solar, he should be okay. Hydras are in production. Solar coming in from behind. And collapsing the Archons, and Solar, he should be fine here. Again, there's no extra warp in. If we had extra warp ins of Zealots, then maybe. Solar will deflect. Overlord speed on the way. Solar, he's not droning up his 4th. Cutting workers at 67. Oh, no, never mind. Makes 3 more drones. Okay, he's droning. He's droning, he's saturating. He's macroing up. We have a game. Solar, he wants that Prism. Will not get it. Yeah, Solar drones up his 4th base. Now we have the Lurker Den into Hive Tech. We are building up. Behind this, MaxPax going into double Robo, double Immortal production. And currently, I do favor MaxPax's position. I feel like there's going to be a window. There's going to be a timing where MaxPax can break out with Mass Storm before there are Lurkers. Solar's in a rough position here. Solar, he cannot deny the bases. Cannot deny the expansions. MaxPax is getting out of hand. It's getting out of control. Six lurkers morphing in. Once again, this is just a very tech-heavy composition here. Just pure High Templar Immortal. Very reliant on those storms. Zelce knocked down the expansion. And again, Solar here, sorry, Max actually has no intention of breaking his opponent. Just poking in, trading, keeping Solar busy. Zelce do get into the mineral line. Archons as well. Drones are going down, and Solar's being pulled apart. Yeah, he's just being torn apart here. Oh no! High Templar get caught out though. Yeah, Lingzek collapse in. Massive storms. Yeah, massive storm in the Hydras. Lurkers are going down as well, and MaxPax, he will overwhelm. He breaks the main army, and with that, we are going to the ace match. GG gets called. We're going to game 5. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, Solar, it did feel like he, again, wasn't aware of what was going on until the last moment. Of course, he was stuck on Ling Hydra against a more charged or Archon heavy composition. This is where roaches do excel, because you need some kind of buffer. You need something. Ling Hydra is just so fragile. It's made out of paper. It crumbles very easily, very quickly, as you saw here as well. Like, it just has no presence here compared to a charged or Archon storm heavy composition. So with that, Max actually broke through before we got into a mass amount of lurkers. And we're going all the way to the ace match. Let's go. Getting into game 5. And we'll see how this story ends. We'll see who can claim the series. Does MaxPax pull off the reverse sweep? Does Solar bring it back? Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. MaxPax is getting out of hand. Does that mean he's getting into feed instead? Oh no. Oh, the feed, Pappy. Oh, the feed. But here we go. We're getting to the ace match here, and again, Solar being forced into these longer games. He's been playing into MaxPax's hand. That is where MaxPax has been thriving that much more. Now, what I do appreciate though about that last game was that MaxPax did mix things up here. He's been playing very standard, and that's where he's been struggling that much more. The last game, he went into charge. Went into Archons. He was able to catch Solar instead with his pants down. Kind of punish and abuse that more Ling Hydra heavy composition. So I appreciate that MaxPax did mix it up. And we'll see how he adjusts coming into our next game. As Solar force take the unnatural natural. Of course, to expand third location. Meanwhile, welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is one of the larger maps in the map pool, longer rushes by ground, and more defendable bases as well. Much more defendable compared to Royal Blood. Old Republic, I meant to say. I don't know why, Royal Blood is on the mind. But compared to the Old Republic, much more defendable, and I would say this map would favor MaxPax if the goal was to build up into that mid to late game composition. The pressure's on Solar. Again, he was successful in the first 2 games with his 3 base all-ins. We need to get back to that, I feel, or bring something else to the table. Oh, looks like there was a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything's okay. Our Stargate open out of MaxPax, opening up Stargate, opening up Oracle, and we'll see Solar's tech of choice. Does it go Lair first, does it go Eva Chamber first, or Roach Warren? What's it going to be? As MaxPax does come into the main. Turns a shade. Nothing major here. Confirming no extra gas mining. Oh, he's going to get caught out there. As the depth set does fall. Oof. Yeah, not quite worth it there for MaxPax. As from here, we'll take the expansion. There's one less adept here to work with, so Solar does have a bit of a presence on the map. It's moving out. The real question becomes the timing of the Twilight Council. The Council, the Robo, the Forge. Now we're still joining up. MaxPax picks in. We have the answer. It's going to be lair first. Okay, lair first before Evo Chamber. It's a 420-ish. 415-ish lair timing. Meanwhile, Twilight Council has been thrown down. This is an earlier council, by the way. So earlier Twilight Council, it's behind the natural mineral line as well. 2 more gates. This looks like Glaves. This does look like Glaive depths. Typically, when we go into Blink, the gateways are a little bit later. So I'm leaning towards Glaves here, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on MaxPax. Checking with the third base. Safety Roach Horn out of Solar. Oh no, he's going into Blink into a later Forge once again. If you remember, we saw this twice now in the series, now the third time. So early Blink, later Forge, later upgrade. It's a bit of a give and take. On the one hand, it does mean that your upgrades are late. That is true. On the other hand, it does mean you can be a little bit more active with those Stalkers earlier on. We saw this on 10,000 feet, if you recall. Did see this on 10,000 feet. And on Celestial. So we're going back into Blink. Meanwhile, Solar back at home. Oh, going into a Spire. Okay. So Roach is into Mutas. Bold move. We'll see if we can get away with it. The Mass Stalkers have been revealed. Now Solar's fully aware. He's fully aware of the Blink follow-up. It's going to be once again Blink into Storm. Plus on melee has begun. Lings, they attempt to counterattack. But can Solar maintain his fourth base? It's going to be close. Hatchery does finish. We have 14 more Lings on the way. Again, it's going to be a shaky hold here for Solar. Oh, the Stasis. Solar, does he notice? Yeah, he's going to bait out the Stasis trap. Coming in from behind. Trying to at least... Oh, no! Does go in too far. Does get caught. But he's defending until the mutas are done. Until the Spire's ready. Stasis trap is baited. Solar does defend. He does save the expansion down to half HP. And we have 10 mutas on the way. Now, back at home, we do have some Stalkers defensively. There's nothing ready in the mineral lines. Again, MaxPax has no reason to get ready back at home. He's not aware of the mutas. They're the mutas. They have potential. They have potential. Thankfully, MaxPax did invest into Blink, so he has plenty of Blink Stalkers, plenty of anti-air. Things they don't quite catch the Stalkers. Yeah, Revelation on the hatcheries. Mutas move out. Cannons are being thrown down. And he's getting ready. Yeah, MaxPax is getting ready here. Mutas, they do catch some probes at least. They're trying to. As they head into the main, Lings, they do hit the fourth. Ooh, that's a kill, not a cancel. Aye, aye, aye. Yeah, MaxPax was distracted. Massive pig off. That's 400 minerals down the drain. Mutas, they get into the natural. Getting 4 probes in total. And so far, not bad for Solar. Still wants more though. MaxPax's response here is to go into a second Stargate. Second Stargate, Mass Phoenix's Archons are building up as well, just focusing his anti-air, turtling up on 3. Turtling up on 3 expansions. Meanwhile, Solar, he's committing, he's doubling down, still going into Mass Mutas. He's going Mass Muta. So he rotates over towards the natural. Again, Revelation does spot the meters. Solo getting ready with his lings. Getting ready for his own run by. Even just turns to fight the Stalkers. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Stalkers going down. Decent trades at the same time. Lings, oh, they run into Archons. MaxPax, he is holding on to 3 bases. But again, bleeding out a lot of Stalkers. Speed out Stalkers, 3 beacons on the way for Anion Pulse Crystals for Phoenix range. Solar is taking more bases. Oh, gets a Phoenix, gets 1, gets 2. Just 1. 1 Phoenix goes down, does punish the Stalkers as well. Again, without Archons here, there's nothing to really zone away the Mutas. There we go. Speaking of, the Archons do rotate at the same time. Lings, they do strike, they do hit the 3rd. Archons out of position. You just have to back off. But the cannons, Jesus, they buy so much time. That was Solar's moment. Oh, and the Lings are being thrown away. Yeah, Lings are being thrown away. Oh, I say that, sorry, they surround the Archon. Oh my god. Yes, they're Solar. Oof. Archon shot goes off. Has to respect those Archons. That 1 volley was brutal. As they rotate back around. Another 2 Archon shots. But Solar, has he done it? Again, because MaxPax is stuck on 3 bases, these have been some expensive losses here, losing all those Stalkers earlier. Expensive trades for MaxPax. Ling Bane is rolling in. Phoenixes are distracted. Bane's rolling into the mineral line. He gets in. Yeah, late reaction here by MaxPax. Oof, getting 9 probes. 9 probes go down. More Stalkers do fall. Mutas are getting out of hand. They're getting out of control. Once again, has to respect those Archons. Pulls away. Ling Bane pushing forward. Once again, going for the mineral line. We're trickling in. Still decent connections though. Connections are decent. Nice lift on the Banelings. You get it in. No reaction. Yeah, no reaction. Ooh, 34 probes going down. Ay. And MaxPax is being torn apart. GG gets called. He cannot keep up. And Solar, he will claim this series 3-2, becoming the PiGosaur Cup number 64 champion. GG. Whew. GG, well played. MaxPax completely caught with his pants down by the Mutas here. Again, he was applying pressure, was poking towards the bases, but the Spire was unseen. The Mutas were unscouted. We saw that the cannons and static defense were very late from MaxPax, as he wasn't quite ready for those Mutas. Did have Stalkers, did have Phoenixes, but again had a hard time keeping up. You could also argue that we had a similar issue here that we saw on not Title Citadel, on White Rabbit, where the army wasn't quite split as best as it could have been. It took a long time for Archons to rotate to the natural. It took a very long time. You saw there for a good, 2-3 minutes where Solar was abusing the natural base while the Archons were staying at the 3rd instead. They had their own role, of course, so we're making sure that Lings didn't push in, but it also meant that the Mutas could abuse that natural base even more. We saw something very similar on White Rabbit when we had 7 High Templar at the 3rd base instead of, at the 3rd/4th base location instead of the natural, where that was where the main army, the main bulk was engaging, and MaxPax was out of position. He had a hard time kind of splitting off his army, splitting off, and cutting his army in half effectively to defend both locations at once. Once the Archons got in position, then he could start defending his natural, but until then, so many Stalkers went down. The Mutas gained a lot of value. They gained a lot of value. They pulled MaxPax apart. Also, a couple of other key moments, of course. MaxPax losing the 4th base. Remember, that was a kill, not a cancel. Bailey's getting into the mineral lines. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations to Solar, as Solar does claim the series and takes down MaxPax. GG. GG. Hi. But yeah, GG, congratulations here to Solar. Again, a very intense back and forth. I was concerned it was going to be a 3-0, but shout out to MaxPax for making a series out of it. I was concerned it was going to be more one-sided, but MaxPax did fight back and did force a game 4 and even a game 5 as well. GG. Este MaxPax. But with that, GG, well played. With that, we are going to be wrapping up soon. Jesus, that was a 3 hours to 2 best of 5s. Oh my god. We're going to be wrapping up soon here. That does wrap up our coverage of the PiGosaur Cup number 64. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, bam, we do have our schedule ready for you. We should be live tomorrow morning. As you can see here, we're going to be live tomorrow morning with the OSC Elite Rising Star Tournament. That is a tournament for up-and-coming players, restricted and limiting the signups of restricted and limiting the signups. It does not allow players that have achieved too many or have placed too highly in big major offline events like EWC, like DreamHacks, for example. So it is for up-and-coming players. It does feature players like Jumi, for example. Jumi, like not quite Nicorect. I want to say Nicorect, he recently promoted. So Jumi, Young Yakov comes to mind as well. Shameless, true, Shameless as well. So for those up-and-comers, that is going to be in around 12 hours time. 12 hours time, we'll be live with OSC. Meanwhile, we have PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup is going to be on Wednesday. That will be a live broadcast of the PiGosaur Cup event. We have Wardy TV Monday on Wednesday as well. That's going to be a replay cast of Wardy's tournament. We then have Home Story Cup. You can see Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We are still catching up with Home Story Cup. That's going to be Home Story Cup Group D and the playoffs of Home Story Cup as well. So we'll be catching up with those matches, catching up with Home Story Cup. Likewise, we have the podcast on Thursday. That is our weekly talk show, a weekly podcast of all things StarCraft. And we have our Amateur and Open Cup over the weekend. Masters 1 Open and Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. So we have a full schedule here for the week. We have Tuesday and Friday evenings off, but outside of that, non-stop StarCraft. True. Non-stop StarCraft. Before we get into it though, we do have one more special thing ready for us here, and that is a viewer replay cast. Yeah, we've been holding on to this for a while. Holding on to it. But again, we do actually host viewer replay casts every now and then. We do have a way to redeem in the chat. I believe it's 10,000 points, but 10,000 channel points does allow you to redeem a replay cast, and we will cover your replay, and we won't be too harsh. So we have one viewer replay to cover. Uno más, papi.